to be a part of this program. They have they support the food pantry at Herschel Jones Middle School, and they have been a frequent sponsor of the breakfast for the Alcohol Drug Awareness Days that the Paulding County government does within our elementary schools and middle schools. They host, I think, 3 of those each year, and the Hiram Lodge has been amazing sponsoring those breakfasts and feeding those volunteers for us. So we greatly appreciate that. Several times each year, when I send out requests to help, the Hiram Lodge will join in and assist wherever it's needed. They bring positive role models to events to interact with students and staff alike and bring an energy to all the events that they support. For all of these reasons, we're recognizing them as the January Partner in Education. We're going to recognize them with a sign that they can display proudly and let everyone know that they are a part of the Paulding County School District and that we greatly appreciate everything that they do. So here, we're going to give you this sign that you can display, and we thank you so much for all you do. Thank you. And I think we're going to get a picture really quick with all of the board members. It's double-sided, so you can hold it away.
Chair for 5 years now. I feel like I need a compass.
Had to switch it up a little, right?
Yeah, that's a really good.
And so I asked Ms. Stigall to stay at the podium with us. She does a lot of work on behalf of the school district with the Paulding Education Foundation. And coming up is their annual casino night. So I asked her just to share a little bit about that.
Sure. This is one of the most exciting events, I think, that we have in the one of our partners with the school district. And let me just say, the Paulding Education Foundation is an amazing partner with the Paulding County School District. And I just want to make you aware of an event that's being held in just a couple of weeks. It's Casino Night coming up on Saturday, February the 7th. It's going to be from 6:30 to 10:30 at the Greystone Power headquarters. It's the biggest fundraiser of the year for the foundation, and the proceeds help the foundation meet its mission in enriching and expanding learning opportunities for the students in Paulding County. What's exciting to me is that every penny raised at Casino goes straight back into our schools. And if you are looking for a way that you know 100% it's going to go to Paulding County and Paulding County School District students and staff, the Paulding Education is a great organization to make that happen with anything that you want to donate. The event is a fun night with a casino atmosphere. There's bingo, there's raffle, there's silent auctions. This year, there's going to be a fun 80s theme. So for all of us who still love the 80s and the music and all the things that go with it, it's going to be a fun night that we can kind of flash back a little bit. And so anyone that's interested can visit the Paulding Education Foundation website. More information is there. You can purchase your tickets there, and we hope that we see a large group of people show up that night to support the Paulding County School District through the Education Foundation. So thank you all so much.
Thank you, Ms. Stigall. Appreciate it.
I'm sorry. It's from 6:30 to 10:30 on February the 7th. Yes, it is. For those of us who grew up in the 80s, that's right.
Spoken like a true dad.
Thank you, Ms. Stigall. Also this morning, Business Services has published their monthly financial update for November. So I've asked Anna Durham, our Chief Financial Officer, to share some highlights and key points from that report. Good morning.
Just have a few highlights I wanted to go over with you this morning. With 41.7% of our fiscal year 26 budget year elapsed, you'll see in our November monthly financial update that in the top graph is our percent variance of year-to-date revenue to budget. As of November, it was 9.7% compared to prior year of 10.9%, and then a three-year average of 8.2%. And then in our lower graph, you'll see the percent variance of year-to-date expenditures to budget. That is in November, negative 1.8% compared to 0.3% last year, and a three-year average of 1.6%. And then our unassigned fund balance could support 2.6 months of the fiscal year 26 budgeted expenditures, and that's compared to 2.9 months last year at this time. And then as a reminder, this financial update is attached to today's agenda along with our website. And then our monthly update also includes a statement of revenues, expenditures, and encumbrances. And then our next full quarterly report will be next month in February.
Thank you, Anna. And so before we share a few upcoming dates, I did want to turn the tables just for a couple of minutes. Before the break, at the annual conference of the Georgia School Public Relations Association, our communications department received 2 gold awards for excellence, one for videography, which was related to our budget video, and then our annual communications report. So I actually have, are y'all shocked right now? So it's good, this is surprise. So I actually have the awards here with me, and so what we wanted to do is maybe just recognize our staff this morning of 3, which we have, of course, Jay Dillon, our Public Information Officer. Nikki Robinson is here this morning, our Coordinator of Communications, and Greg Hannon, our Digital Communications Manager. We thought we'd share these with you guys, maybe grab a picture from somebody, but it's got to be somebody other than Jay. So if you guys have a second, we can step out there and take a quick picture. Congratulations. And then, Mr. Chairman, just want to quickly mention that this Friday, of course, is a remote learning day. Monday is Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. And then our district-wide spelling bee will be on Friday, January 23rd at 9 a.m. at Hiram High School. I encourage the board or anyone to come and be humbled at that event. Our countywide swim championships will be held on Friday, January 23rd as well. That starts at 6:30 p.m. at the Cherokee Aquatic Center. And that's all I have for the superintendent's report this morning, Mr. Chairman. With your permission, I will move on to our communication and engagement items. So the first item up is our boundary realignment presentation this morning. And so for that, I will ask the person who has carried the weight of that whole event for the last really 6 months or so. David Ponder is our operational planning coordinator. He and Dr. Jason Gregatis have been working on this. 6 months has probably been too conservative. It's probably been a better part of a year. So David is going to kind of hopefully bring this to a conclusion this month. And so I've asked him to kind of come up and share sort of a final presentation. That'll lead into sort of what our recommendation is going to be at the second meeting of this month. So Mr. Ponder, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Barnett. Thank you, board members. Yeah, we wanted to give a quick overview of what we've been doing over the last several months in relation to putting this out to the community, the data we've gathered, and then the recommendation that the committee's come up with to say, this is the plan we'd like to move forward to. Michelle, can I use this to go through? Okay. All right, want to just start off with just a quick reminder of kind of what we were assessing as an issue before we started this work. And you'll recognize some of this information we shared with you previously, so I'll go through some of this kind of quickly. But if you remember back in 2022, we did a study to kind of figure out what are the schools that we had issues being over capacity, and we had to have a plan for addressing some of those needs. And you'll see that list from Abney, Burnt Hickory, Dallas, New Georgia, Northside, Roberts, Shelton, and Union. We'll just kind of address quickly some of the things we've done back in spring 2023. We did a small boundary realignment in the New Georgia Union area, along with Nebo to help address those concerns there. In the spring of 2024, we did our addition at Burnt Hickory Elementary School. In this fall 2025, we opened our additions at Roberts and Northsides Elementary. And that leaves us with 3 schools we had identified that had capacity concerns that we needed to deal with that will be addressed thanks to the opening of Elementary School 20, Crossroads Elementary. And as we've looked at that, we've been looking at how can we handle that capacity with opening the new facility and then doing another boundary realignment with some of the schools in the impacted area. We'd like to say we do want to recognize that all of our way to address these concerns has come through our eSPLOS program. So thankful that the community's been supportive of that, the board's been supportive of that. Just a reminder, through eSPLOS, we've been able to fund an additional 110 elementary school classrooms, providing us over with 175,000 additional square feet of classroom space for our students. As we've opened that new construction, though, and as we're looking at what we are facing with even the opening of Crossroads Elementary, we work with our demographer, MGT, to assess our instructional capacity at our buildings. And that involves not only just the size of the building and the programs, but special programs that require smaller sizes, birth rate information, mobility of our students between our facilities here in the district. But when we get a snapshot of that data, as we've shared with you before, we're right now facing 3 schools that have a large overcapacity issue, that being Dallas, Shelton, and Abney. And then you'll see a line there allowed for Crossroads Elementary. Now, as we, that was the basis of our starting point for working with realignment. We needed to address that capacity concerns in this northeastern quadrant of the district. As part of that, as you'll recall, we came up with 3 plans, and just for simplicity's sake, we named them after 3 colors: Plan Blue, Plan Yellow, and Plan Green. And all 3 of those plans in some way address those issues with the opening of Crossroads Elementary and dealing with the overcapacity concerns at those 3 identified schools. It tweaked it in some way, and we put those 3 plans out to the community so that they could provide feedback to us and direction on how they wanted us to proceed. And just to kind of share with you how that's progressed since we last met and talked about this. In November 19th, we posted all of the information and several informational videos to our Planning for the Future webpage. It's on the district website. And that was made available to the community. We sent out several communications to the district and our parents and stakeholders to make them aware that that information was there. Then starting in December, we had 3 community engagement events where we went to Herschel Jones Middle School, Moses Middle School, and Crossroads Middle School, allowing the community a chance to come in and speak with us directly about any concerns or suggestions that they may have. All the while on the website, they were able to submit comments using the Slido app or a direct email address that came to us so that they could share their concerns. Following those 3 meetings, we've looked at gathering together the data. Of all those, we received electronically 191 responses, either through Slido or through the dedicated email address. And then through the 3 community nights, we had various conversations with stakeholders who come out to meet with us. And I should say, in addition to that, we've met with building leadership and all the impacted schools to have direct conversations with the schools themselves. You can see, just to break down the pie graph, how those responses came back from the schools that the parents were affiliated with, and you can see the largest ones. The largest group was parents affiliated with Burnt Hickory, and then Abney, and then Shelton. Over on the right-hand side, you'll see a chart where we were tracking how the responses came in by neighborhood. And some of those would probably receive the highest responses back from some of the neighborhoods where there was a difference in the 3 plans as to whether they were involved in the change or not. But that is all the information that kind of compiles that as the number of responses we received. On this next slide, I want to just say, I'll kind of review just kind of a basic overview of what those responses provided to us. Now, the way that parents were able to respond is they were able to give general feedback on all 3 plans. So I will say, when you look at these totals, it may not equal to 190 because each parent was able to provide responses for all 3 plans. We took all the responses and we looked at them, and if they were a favorable comment, for the purposes of these charts, we kind of indicated them as yes. If they were an opposing comment, we've indicated them as no. But there was not a moment where they just voted yes or no. But just for the summation of these charts, we did that. And as you can see, Plan Blue was the most favored of the plans that we put out between the 3. I will say, if you want to go back and look at all the specific comments from the parents and the community members who responded, we have posted on our Planning for the Future webpage all of those comments directly. Of course, we removed any personally identifying information they may have shared, but all of that is available for review. But again, you can see Plan Blue was the most favored of the 3. So as a result, we are proposing to the board that Plan Blue would be the plan that we move forward with as far as the realignment for the schools impacted by the opening of Crossroads Elementary and then trying to address those overcrowding concerns. When you look at it, Plan Blue it does satisfy all the capacity concerns. I'll show you in the next slide. I do want to say it also addresses several of the guiding principles and criteria that we put forward for our in-board policy as part of our realignment guidance. One of the main things being that impacting the least number of students possible. And if you look over there on the right, the graphic on the left, it's the total number of students who were impacted by the change. And so again, this is dealing with the movement of students around Dallas Elementary and up with the opening of Crossroads Elementary. And you can see and we've got it color coded, so with Plan Blue, you're talking a little over 1,400 students involved versus over 1,700 with Plan Green and 1,600 with Plan Yellow. In the number of neighborhoods, we see a smaller number involved with Plan Blue as well, equal to Plan Green, but less than Plan Yellow. Now, just a reminder what Plan Blue looks like. Plan Blue takes those current northern portions of Shelton and Russell and assigns those to Crossroads Elementary. And as we shift students in that area away from Shelton and Russell, we use that additional space allowed at those 2 schools to relieve the overcrowding at Abney Elementary. Down at the bottom of the map, just remember we're taking Dallas Elementary, which is extremely overcrowded, and we're moving some of those students to Roberts and Northside thanks to those 2 additions. You will see a small number of students around Industrial Boulevard that are shifting back to Abney. Historically, that was an area that was attached to Abney. So this is the plan that parents that provided responses overwhelmingly approved and said that they would prefer that we move forward with. I do want to show you this after effect of how that would impact our capacity concerns. You'll see that there's not a box of red on there. So when we have our categories over there to the right, I will say anytime you see anything that's hitting around 100%, we do have additional mitigations that we can do, like the movement of special programs from one building to another to try to even bring that down a few percentage points as well. So Plan Blue does an excellent job of meeting our overcapacity concerns for the forecasted 10-year span that we're looking at in our data. All right, so then where does that leave us from there? So we've gathered the data, we've presented the plans, we've gathered the information and feedback from our stakeholders. The next step is we're here today to present to you to say that Plan Blue is the plan that we wish to move forward with. Then the next thing would be a vote at the end of this month, a final vote from the board to approve that plan. And then beyond that, then immediately we start opening up what's called the request to remain, where as part of board policy, any rising 5th grader who wishes to remain at their current elementary school is allowed to do so. Once that data is gathered as far as how many students are choosing to remain, we'll then the very next day open up the school choice window for any students in grades below that, so if they choose to remain, they can do so as well. All right, and so depending on how the numbers work, and school leadership will be working immediately once we know how many fifth graders are choosing to stay to identify how many slots are available for students to apply for school choice. And at that point, elementary school boundary alignment would be complete for this phase. And then we would also plan in the spring for each of the schools that will be receiving new students to conduct some open houses. So parents who might be changing schools will have the opportunity to go in and meet the administration, tour the building, meet some of the teachers, and see some of the different things that they have going on at those facilities. And with that, that's pretty much a quick summation of as Mr. Marnett said, a lot of work, a lot of data gathering, a lot of meeting, a lot of conversations. But, with that, I'll just ask if anyone has any questions. Mr. Martin.
I just want to say, last time I did this, when Shelton was part of the program, I had parents starting Facebook groups, hiring consultants from other states, the whole 9 yards. I've gotten exactly one phone call, and that was to say, thank you for such a great website with all the explanation. So you guys knocked this out of the park. I appreciate what y'all did and how it was handled, and especially up in my area, and I know Jeff lives up there too, but I'm the one who gets those phone calls, and I got none, so it was fantastic. Thank you.
Ms. Lyons?
I just wanted to say something. Thank you. For clarification for the public, if they fill out a request to remain and they're approved for that, they have to provide their own transportation.
Yes, ma'am, that is correct.
And my other question was, when you said the students that are there will have first opportunity, other grade levels to request to remain before you open it up to the public?
For the rising
For
fifth
school
graders.
choice?
As board policy goes,
But-
we're doing a realignment. If it's, depending on the level it's impacted, it's fifth, eighth, or 12th, then yes, those rising fifth graders at that current school would have the chance to apply.
So, well, what about other students that are at that school that are realigned to another school, like first, second, third, fourth? Will they have the first opportunity to school choice, or will it just be a blanket open school choice?
They apply to school choice for their school if they want to remain for those in those lower grade levels.
Right, but would they have preference over students wishing?
Oh, from another school
Right,
who'd
would
be applying for
The
their?
current students have preference over, before you open it up to all students?
This school choice phase, to my understanding, would be to where it would be dedicated to those students who are being affected by realignment, not a general wide open door.
Ms. Lyons, for school choice, we've traditionally given first preference. If there's available seats for school choice, we've given it a preference to them and anyone with siblings.
Okay,
So yes.
okay. I just want to clarify that, not only for me, but for,
No, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that was my question, was say you've got a fifth grader that wants to remain, but you also have a first or second grader. Do they get some kind of preference to remain with the siblings, or do we split the siblings and make?
No, they do. They get preference.
Thank you.
yeah, you
The
put a lot of work into that.
So just to make sure I'm clear, I think the policy itself, the request to remain in that process, that's not a board-level process, correct?
Sorry, go ahead, Jason.
I believe the request to remain is in the regulation,
Right.
if I'm not mistaken.
But that's not a board-level decision-making process, correct? It's
For the
not.
regulation,
No,
we
sir.
Created it.
Okay, so, and so if it's not a board-level decision-making process, it'll be handled at the school level, pretty much?
Here at the central office level. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Registration, but here.
Okay, thank you. That's what I need to know.
Well, if there's any final questions, we've got 2 weeks to ask questions, but also the public, if they have any final questions, how do they reach out to you guys still?
Sure.
In these last 2 weeks?
Yeah, through the Planning for the Future email address that is still active, and they can submit responses through there.
And so I will just, again, say, not to disparage any way we've done it in the past, because, hey, I've been involved in those in the past, but this has just been the perfect intersection of talent and technology that has just brought us up to a level of sophistication we've just never had before, and you've been right in the crosshairs of that, so just want to say how much we appreciate you and Jay as well and his team and the communication effort and Dr. Gergatis. I mean, you have dialed it up to a notch. It's going to be hard to ever surpass. So you guys are just an excellent job.
Don't stop trying.
No. Oh, I'm sorry, Trina.
I'd say you guys need to market this.
Yeah, but internally, I mean, you know,
Understood.
James Wilson is watching right now. You're off limits. But yeah, absolutely. It is extraordinary. It really is unique for our industry. So there is today's presentation, but also on the agenda, we've actually created the actual recommendation, is my understanding. It's on the agenda. We won't obviously go through it this morning. It has a detailed map, more so than the presentation, for the public to see. And then, of course, like you said, they can reach out if they have more questions. And then our plan is to present that exact recommendation. There it is there to the board at the second meeting. And it'll be a separate vote. It won't be on the consent agenda. And then we'll go to the next step of a request to remain. But unless there's any other questions.
Mr. Barnett, I'll just clarify, the detailed maps that we've included today are also available on the website. They've been up since November 19th for the public to review. So
Excellent.
it does get down to the street level view so that if you have questions about a specific street, you can.
Great point. Those aren't new. They're just we wanted to have it attached to the actual agenda item, but they're on the website, have been on the website. Thank you, Mr. Ponder. Appreciate you. Thank you. So again, I won't go through that line item there, but it's there as far as the actual boundary realignment item. The next two items are actually going to be on the consent agenda at the next meeting, and I'll ask Mr. Crowder to come up for septic tank and grease trap pumping. I don't know why there was people laughing, Mr. Crowder. This is important stuff.
Yes.
What would we do if we didn't have those things pumped?
We would be in trouble. We would.
We would.
Good morning, everybody. Today, I do have one item for presentation, and this is our renewal of our invitation for bid for septic tank and grease trap pumping. That contract was originally awarded to Wind River Environmental for the initial one-year term that began February 2024. And this solicitation was bid with 3 potential one-year options for renewal with proven quality, performance, and price. This will be our second option for renewal. And like Mr. Barnett mentioned, if you have any concerns, you can send them to us between now and January 27th. They'll be placed on the agenda for your approval.
Thank you, Mr. Crowder.
Thank you.
And the second item that will be on the consent agenda is a request to authorize the board chair and the superintendent to sign the Family Connection Fiscal Agent Agreement with the Georgia Department of, actually, we need to correct that. It's not the Georgia Department of Education. It's actually with the Georgia Department of Human Services. This is an annual thing we do. It's ultimately through the Georgia Family Connection Partnership with the Department of Human Services to fund the Paulding Family Connections. We do this every year. This is the precursor to the actual agreement. This is just setting the school district as the fiscal agent for ultimately what will be the funding of Paulding Family Connections. So we do this every year. And again, that will be on the second item on the consent agenda. And Mr. Chairman, that is all I have this morning.
All right, thank you, Mr. Barnett. At this time, we're going to take a vote to adjourn to executive session to discuss personnel, land, and legal, and no votes will be taken other than the minutes from the December 9th meeting. Do I hear a motion to adjourn to executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion's unanimous. We are adjourned to executive session.
put them on.
Okay, we just returned from executive session. We're going to reconvene. No votes were taken except the minutes from December the 9th, and I will turn it back over to Mr. Barnett for the action items on the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, we'll start with personnel report before we move on to the meeting dates and norms and protocols. And I am asking this morning the board to approve the personnel report, items 1 through 64 as presented this morning.
Do I hear a motion?
Second.
So moved by Mr. Nolan, second by Mr. Clayton. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 6 with 1 not here.
And that's all I have this morning.
Okay, so at this point, back to item A, board meeting dates. I trust everyone's had a few weeks to review those, and I'll entertain a motion to go ahead and approve the 26 board meeting calendar.
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Nolan, second by Ms. Lyons. Is there any discussion or questions on the dates?
I just have one question. The September 22nd meeting, just verify for me, is that a morning meeting or an evening meeting? I can't tell what color green that is.
It's an evening meeting.
It is an evening?
And we did fix the May meeting to, that's a morning meeting on the 19th, correct? Instead of a night. So
I'm sorry, that was actually the date that I was looking at.
May 19th?
May 19th.
Yeah, so.
Sorry, that color is weird. Yeah,
So
it
May
is
the
an
5th
evening.
is a board retreat, and then we changed the 19th from a night meeting to a morning meeting because that's the primary election day.
Exactly, sorry.
So we wouldn't top everybody's evenings
Exactly.
with that. All right, so Michelle, you have the motion and the second on that? Okay, all in favor, please? Motion passes unanimous 6-0. And next is the board norms and protocols. As with the meeting dates, I trust everyone's had a chance to review those. And I'll take a motion to approve.
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Clayton, second by Mr. Nolan. Any discussions or changes on the norms and protocols or questions? All in favor, please show by raising your hand. Motion passes 6-0. Now we will, there's no public participation? Okay, and we'll move to board member comments. I don't remember how Ms. Collette did this, so we'll just start down here with Ms. Sauer and for today, and then work our way down to Ms. Lyons, if that's okay.
I just want to say again, kudos to David and Jason and the job they did on the boundary realignment. That was incredible. Kudos.
I just want to say thank you. I'm excited to be in this seat for a little while. I thoroughly enjoyed serving you guys as chairman for the last 2 years, and I just want to thank you for your support. And I just want to say you have my support. Looking forward to working hard together to make 2026 being a great year for the school system.
Thank you, and to my fellow board members, thank you all for entrusting me to lead this year in 2026, and congratulations to Adam being the vice chair, and thanks to Mr. Ponder and his group for the great presentation on the redistricting, and I think that's been a great process, and look forward to opening the new elementary school and alleviating some of the overcrowding that's much needed in North, and I hope everyone is off to a great start in 2026.
So say thanks to the board members for trusting me to be vice chair. I'm excited to learn and grow in my role here and get more experience. So it's been 5 years. It's time to step up and do something. So I'm glad this opportunity came available. And thank you to Mr. Ponder and everyone, and Jay and his team on their awards as well. Great job. And have a great day.
Okay, I wanted to say thank you to the club that, what was his name? The Hiram Lodge, 634? Mr. Barrett. I really appreciate our partners in education. We could not really do as much as we can without their support. And we really appreciate all of our partners in education. Debbie, thank you for serving for the last 2 years. You have been an absolutely outstanding board chair, and I appreciate that. And thank you, Jeff, for willing to serve again. And welcome, Adam, as a new vice chair. I did want to remind everyone about casino night, which is going to be the 7th, February 7th at Greystone from 6:30 to 10:30. And if anyone has not gone, it is so much fun. We don't play with real money, we play with little it's not real gambling, but it's money that raises the money for our school district, and it is the biggest fundraiser of the year for the Paulding Education Foundation. And as they said earlier, all of the money goes to our children and education, and it's super fun. And 80s night, 80s music is the best music in the history of music, as far as I'm concerned. And there may be a little dancing, I don't know. You never know. But having said all that, I do appreciate all the work that Mr. Ponder and his group has done. It is very meticulous, logistical project, and I appreciate all the other people that he brought in to make this a pretty seamless transition, which in all the years I've been here, boundary realignment has been the most controversial thing that we've ever had to deal with. And this one has been a beautiful transition. And I can't say enough good things about that, because it truly is, it's a beautiful, seamless transition. So I hope everyone gets their child where they feel like their child is going to thrive the best. And we'll go from there. And thank you. Have a great day.
All right, so before we adjourn, I'm going to start a new tradition today as chairman for the last vote, and I'm going to turn the meeting over to our Vice Chair, Adam Clayton, for the adjournment motion and second and adjournment. Mr. Vice Chair.
At this time, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right.
All in favor?
Yeah.
All in favor? We are adjourned.